So, are you familiar with Ujjayi breath? But basically, you might
Rings
be
a
already.
bell.
You might be already, but basically, maybe you don't know the name. But basically, I'd like to, and especially if this is going to go onto the recording, I'd like to kind of do like a little recap of it because it's such a central part of the so-called Vinyasa practice. So we'll start with this Ujjayi breath, and we can use it throughout the practice and then throughout basically all Vinyasa practices. And we can start with a little practice of technique, which is we want to have a long spine. We want to have a nice, comfortable seat, and a way that you can feel that the throat can be spacious. And the thing is about this breath, you can do it basically when you're doing any other thing, but it is very powerful, but heating, but also calming for the nervous system because it's quite slow. And so it's basically like this. We often start it by like taking your hand in front of your mouth and opening your mouth and breathing out like you're misting up a mirror and like feeling the heat on your hand. So you breathe with like a certain amount of force so that you can feel it on your hand. And so basically it's this force, you can feel the texture in your throat. And you can feel that the throat has done a little bit of a contraction in order to create this sound. Now we do that, but then we want to achieve the same thing with the mouth closed. Oh, hey! So basically what we do is hi Tam, we're literally just starting, so you haven't even missed anything yet. We're just doing some pranayama or technical pranayama instruction.
Okay.
So I'm going to continue and you get sorted, and Luna has to chill it out. Come on, Luna. That's enough. So what we want to do is achieve this but with the lips closed. And so a nice way to kind of get into it at the beginning is to go and what we're aiming to do is like constrict the back of the throat a little bit. And it's easier to achieve on the exhale, first of all, so that we breathe in through the nose. And then we exhale through the nose, but feel like the back of the throat is contracting. So that you can audibly hear and also feel your breath. And when we do that, it becomes a point of focus, of turning inwards. So again, we can practice breathing in through the nose and breathing out through the nose. Seeing if you can hear that contraction and feel that contraction at the back of the throat. At the beginning, it can be touch and go, and then with practice, it becomes more consistent and then almost automatic. But we can try it again, and then we'll do maybe 3 rounds of trying to breathe in and out with a count. So we can breathe in through the nose just naturally. Breathe out through the nose, contracting the back of the throat. And then see if you can do the same thing, breathing in through the nose, through that slightly constricted throat. And similarly, we breathe out through the nose again with that contraction. And you'll notice it really slows the breath down. So we'll do one more exhale here. One more inhale. Exhale through the nose, constricting the back of the throat. And then slowly, we'll just hold that in our awareness, I suppose, for now, and come down into a child's pose. So we come into our child's pose, take the arms out in front, maybe press the fingertips into the floor. You can either let your forehead rest on the floor or let it be hovering in the air, but the arms are active, so the back is active, and the tailbone is tucking underneath. And see here if you can bring that Ujjayi breath into it. So if your head, wherever you are, see if you can make your throat deep and full, so that you can feel that Ujjayi breath. And now that we're in the child's pose, as opposed to sitting on the heels, you can feel the belly pressing against the thighs as you breathe in. On your exhale, see if you can contract the low abdomen. So there's like a bit of a cinching in happening. So here we are really drawing the attention into the body. That's what that Ujjayi breath does. It really takes us inwards. With the sound, with the texture, with the sensation, with the heat that we build with this breath. So on your inhale, you feel how the whole torso puffs up, and on the exhale, feel how the low belly contracts, maybe even you can feel how the pelvic floor rises up, floats up. Each inhale maybe getting a little bit deeper, a little bit longer, a little bit fuller, a little bit warmer. Each exhale, seeing if you can knit your awareness deeper into your body. Take one more breath in here. One more exhale. Look forward and just creep your hands forward, maybe to the outside edges of your mat. You can let your hips, so that your hips, you might need to walk your knees a little bit back the way if you need to, so that your hips are, pardon me, over your knees. Now again, your arms are going to be nice and strong and active. I'd like you to, even if you're a bendy person, and especially if you're a bendy person, knit the low belly up and in a little bit, just so that we're not going to the deepest back bend yet, not collapsing down towards the floor, but having a little bit of integrity, a little bit of integration all the way down in towards the navel. Again, we have that texture of the breath, allowing us to come deep into the body with our awareness. And also, the thing is about this breath, because it's smooth, because it's got this texture, it stimulates the vagus nerve and loads of other things. Basically, it turns to smooth our nervous system, to calm it, to move into the parasympathetic nervous system, which is this rest and restore mode, which encourages our body to soften and open. So see if you can let your inhale be a little bit longer and your exhale a little bit deeper. Slowly on the inhale, we'll ripple forward onto the belly and take the hands underneath the forehead and rest the head there. When your belly comes down towards the floor, relax it. We do a lot of like toning of the belly, in our yoga practice, but also as we walk around in life. Can you make it nice and squishy? Let it meet the floor. Let it be receptive. Make space for the fire we're going to generate in there today. It's a little punchy, fiery practice for this winter theme. So maybe take a breath in through the nose and exhale out the mouth. Feel and hear again the echo of your breath bouncing off the floor and right back at you. Take the hands underneath the shoulders and press the toenails down. Now we can start to engage, lifting the kneecaps, the belly button, the elbows hug back towards your waist as you drag yourself forward, Bhujangasana, low cobra. Exhale, lower yourself back down towards the floor, nice and slow. If we slowly start to build a little bit of heat, we will in our practice. Exhale, push back. Inhale, lift up, maybe a little bit higher. and then tuck yourself back into a child's pose. Keep the toes tucked underneath, again active. Here, curl your tailbone underneath. So you're thinking about rounding your low back very much, the hands stay on the floor, and curl, curl, curl. Think about your navel drawing up towards the spine. Think about your middle back rounding, your upper back rounding as you come forward into this table like a cat, really. Gripping the mat with your fingertips, like your pubic bone and your chin could come together. Then as you inhale, scoop your tailbone towards the sky and ripple through the spine as you look forward and maybe all the way up. Exhale, tuck your tailbone underneath again. So we're making those waves of the spine. Tuck your toes, keep your toes tucked underneath, maybe hover the knees here. And look slightly in front of your hands. So you've got a long spine. Stay with the knees hovering maybe like an inch or two off the mat. See if you can roll your shoulders away from each other. And we're having a slight, so like push the floor away so like your heart pushes off from and move slightly further away from the ground. Take another big breath into the back of the rib cage. Take another big breath out through the nose, maybe with that textural ujjayi breath. Feel how your belly button floats towards the spine. Let's do one more breath in. And then exhale, move back for downward facing dog. This may or may not be like a resting pose for you. I feel like it definitely is a little bit of relief after what we just did. That knee hovering position is always a bit fiery. So here again, roll your shoulders away from each other. Put a micro bend in your knees and feel like your belly button floats up towards your spine. So you've got that lovely toned waist. So that you're like drawing your energy up towards your hips, like that's the apex of your pose. From that, you reach your crown of your head down towards the floor. Maybe squeeze the inner thighs towards each other just a teensy tad, so you can feel spine, hip bones, pelvis, inner thighs, heels. And with this is the purpose of core work in yoga, is to integrate everything. Feel like we're joined together by a golden thread. Take one more exhale, look towards the hands, inhale. 1 foot at a time is going to step all the way towards the front of the mat. And land in a forward fold here, so that your belly and your thighs can connect. Let your head be soft and your neck soft. Make sure your feet are hip distance apart. Since you're nice and close, you could even take your 2 fists and like fit them in between your inner feet. It's a nice measuring device there. Now, drop, so bend your knees so that your hips drop really low in a nice juicy way, so that your belly is resting on the shelf of your thighs, right? So your knees are hip distance apart, just as your feet are. And from there, we're going to shoot the arms in line with the ears. So it's kind of like Utkatasana, except a little bit lower. So your ears and your biceps are in a line. Your thighs are like trying to be parallel to the floor, just about. Press your heels into the floor and away from each other. And tone your low belly, so it's like you're lifting your belly off your thighs. You can't really see for all my clothes I'm wearing, but I'm sure you can feel it, right? So you're still at the same angle, your chest isn't lifting, but the belly is lifting up. Take a big breath in, reach with your fingertips, exhale and fold forward. Ha, and sigh. Good. Do the same thing again, drop your hips low, feel like your belly and your thighs connect, like you're going to go skiing in a minute or something. Then reach your arms up, tuck your chin slightly, feel your belly lifting. Ujjayi. So when things get hot, we apply this breath to calm the nervous system. Take one more inhale. Good, exhale, fold. Yes. Okay, good job. Don't worry about it. Give yourself a little wave, like a willow tree, hands left and right. Press the feet down into the floor and inhale, reach the arms all the way up towards the sky. Okay, here we interlace the fingers. So you interlace all the fingers in between each other, and then turn the palms away from you, and then reach them up towards the sky. Let's do it that way for now. Okay. So reach them up towards the sky. Again, you look down towards your feet. Make sure they're hip distance-esque apart. Inhale to press yourself up towards the ceiling. Squeeze your bum. Lift your low belly. So your pubic bone is going forward, your tail dropping. As you exhale, go down towards your left as you stretch the right-hand side of your body, as if you're between two planes of glass. Inhale slowly. Come back up to the middle. See if you can find every single inch of your side body as you come back up to the top. Exhale down towards your right. And use that Ujjayi breath if you can. Press the feet down, inch your way up the left side of the body, maybe squeezing your left butt cheek as you come up. Exhale down towards your left. Good. Reach through the hands if you can. Press your right heel into the floor, right bum squeezes as you come back up. Good. One more time. All the way down, pushing through the hands. Good. Inhale up. How many was that? Let's do one more time each side. It should be 3, but 4 is also good. This is a real heat building exercise. Super good for the waist and the legs and like literally everything. Down again towards your right. Stretching the left hand side of the body, pushing through the hands. Good. Inhale all the way up. Take the hands behind your head. Press the elbows towards each other. Draw the chin in towards the chest. And now we lengthen the back of the body by contracting the front. So pull your belly button in strongly, like you're doing a crunch basically. Chin in towards the chest. Curling yourself down. Bending into the knees once your elbows reach your navel level. And then curling that low back just like we did in child's poses again. Yeah, for the beginning. And then going all the way slowly down until we reach the bottom in a forward fold. Then you can release the hands and give the head a shake. Okay, bend your knees, it's already warm. Take your thighs parallel with the floor or close to it. Reach the hands up alongside your ears. Drive your heels into the floor, lift the low belly. Exhale, fold. Take the hands onto the shins, halfway lift. And step yourself back into a plank. So in the plank, just like we did in our tabletop position, see if you can make a little space. You're already good at it. A little space between your shoulder blades, puffing up there, hugging the forearms towards each other, hugging the inner thighs towards each other, and pressing the heels back. Take one big breath, contracting the back of the throat as you draw the breath all the way into the pit of your belly. So this posture is a fiery one, and that's why it's in the sequence here, and I'm talking at you to try and keep you going. But see if you can use your breath to take yourself to the interior of it, not just the exterior effort. Be on your inside of your heart. Take a breath in. Now downward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Here you can breathe out through the mouth, if you like. See if you can feel what does your body need. What kind of, what's it asking for? So at any point during this fiery practice, you do want to have a little break, you're very welcome to. But I'm going to suggest a bunch of stuff that's going to put a fire in your eyes. Basically, this class is like inspired by the fact that everyone I meet is like, the world is on fire. I'm like, you can cope with it, you've got it. Reach your right leg towards the sky. Reaching all the way through the toes. Pelvis as square as you can manage, good. Exhale and draw the thigh in towards your ribs. So like you're kneeing yourself in the ribs. That's the exhale. On your inhale, place the foot back down onto the floor. Inhale, take your left leg up towards the sky. Exhale, pull it in and knee yourself in the ribs. Then inhale, place the foot down onto the floor. So this is familiar, we've done this before. This next round, we're not going to reach the foot all the way to the sky. We're just going to go from downward facing dog and knee ourselves in towards the ribs and then put it back down onto the floor. And we'll also alternate. So take a breath in. On your exhale, right knee in towards the thigh, in towards the ribs. Inhale, put it back down. Exhale, left knee. Inhale, put it back down. Exhale, right. Inhale, put it back down. Exhale, left. Inhale, put it back down. Exhale, right. Look forward. Step it to the front of the mat. Left knee onto the earth. We made it. Arms up. Now make sure your feet are at least hip distance apart. And then maybe close your eyes. You can either have your hands overhead or you can take them onto your body. That's your choice. But I'd like you again to take that attention inwards here. This is one of the things, so I think all the time about like why on earth I do this crazy practice called yoga. And one of the main reasons is to create this inner resilience. This feeling of freedom inside, this feeling of power, this feeling that, pardon the French, that to be unfuckwithable, no matter what happens out there. There's so many people out there getting upset about so much stuff right now. I'm like, dude, save your energy. So that's what I do. Save your energy and then an Ujjayi breath. It just happens naturally. Allow it to draw you in and feel how powerful you are inside. And know that nothing can get you. Exactly. Take your left hand to the floor, right hand to the sky, open twist. Leaning around, turning even your left ribs around towards the sky. Exactly. Left shoulder blades down the back. So you can feel nice strength of their back muscles. Right hand turns back towards the floor. Step it back, plank. Just for one breath. And then we'll lower all the way to the floor. You can use your knees if you like. That's totally fine. Starting to use the front of the body, toenails, quads, belly, low ribs, hug forward, low cobra, Vinyasa. Exhale, lower. Do the same thing, lift yourself up, Vinyasa, squeeze your bum a wee bit, lift the belly, and maybe over the hands. Nice, good. So you feel the power of your back body working nice and strong. Exhale, press yourself back, child's pose. So stay for an inhale. Stay for an exhale. Let your breath come and go as you want it to, as it needs to redistribute some of the heat around your body, to kind of regain that balance inside. Okay, take another breath into the back of the body. Exhale with a sigh if you like. On the next inhale, we reach the hands forward, tuck the toes underneath, and then elevate the knees, downward facing dog. Again, here we want to find the forearms hugging towards each other, the inner thighs lifting up in towards the groins. Your navel floating towards the spine. And feeling this like central column of power and integrity. On your inhale, walk the feet towards the hands. Drop your tailbone down, round through the low back, the middle back, upper back. It's a wave motion. As you start to get a little bit higher, lift the quads, lift the low belly, lift the heart, arms up. Exhale, fold, hinging at the hips, softening at the belly, softening at the throat. Good. Find opportunities to soften where you can. Then drop your hips low, parallel with the earth if you can. Reach the arms forward. Lift the low belly away from the thighs as you drop your tailbone down. It just looks a bit more like Utkatasana here. Palms facing towards each other, good. One breath. Exhale and fold. Halfway lift, hands to shins. Step back to a plank. Plank. Downward facing dog, I do apologize. Take your left leg towards the sky. Inhale. Exhale, knee it in, round your upper back. And then place it back down onto the floor. Right leg reaches up towards the sky. And then exhale, round it in. Draw it as close as you can towards your ribs. Place it back down on the floor. Inhale, first hover your left foot. Exhale, knee yourself in the ribs with that left leg. Inhale, place it back down on the floor. Exhale the right knee in towards your chest. Exhale, inhale, put it back down on the floor. Exhale the left. Inhale, put it back down on the floor. Exhale the right. Inhale, back down on the floor. Hands hugging towards each other. Exhale the left. Look forward. Then step it through. Right knee to the floor. Good job. Walk your left foot over towards the side a little bit. Come up to your hip stack over your knee. And you let your hands float up towards the sky. Here's your choice. You can close your eyes or not. But see if that heat, you know how like if you let something, you have like a paper lantern or something over a candle, it floats. So like here's the fire in your belly and above it is your heart and your arms and your head and your gaze. And it floats, it's buoyant, effortless. Let the breath be soft here. Take your right hand to the floor, open twist. Pressing down with the right hand strongly so that you can rotate around more. Again, lifted up by that heat in your body. Exhale, place the left hand down, step back to a plank. Good. Heels back, inner thighs, bum squeeze, heart forward. Hands gripping the mat, full of integrity, power, strength. Every single cell of your body working hard. Pour the breath deeply inside using that ujjayi texture if you can. Take another inhale. Let's go all the way down towards the floor. Okay, one time Bhujangasana, Cobra, toenails pressing, hands beside the rib cage. Exhale and lower. This time, let your forehead be on the floor, reach your hands back alongside your waist. So they'll hover here, like palms facing your hips. Squeeze your bum a wee bit, let your feet reach back the way. So your shins engage, your quads, your calves, your inner thighs, your low belly. Feet reach back the way off the mat. You can have the feet together or hip distance apart, your preference, that's fine. Then, as if someone's pulling your hands back the way, reach them back, and that's going to lift your heart off the floor as you squeeze your triceps together behind you, your shoulder blades. Chin is slightly tucking. Chest is reaching up off the floor. It's Shalabhasana, locust pose. So even though the belly's on the floor, your navel is like lifting off the earth. Take another breath in. Then exhale. Lower yourself down on the floor. Give your hips a little waggle if you'd like. And then press back into child's pose. One more time, let your breath fill you up. Exhale it out. This is our thing. We can come back to it again and again and again, always, always throughout our lives. The heat, the warmth, the soothing breath. We have it always at our disposal. Look towards your hands on your next breath in. Tuck the toes underneath. And let your inhale, like that updraft of warm air, lift your hips up towards the sky into a downward facing dog. By pulling your navel to the spine, you make yourself elevated even more. So it's almost like there's less weight in your hands when you do that. Imagine levitation. Okay, press into both hands, left foot. We reach the right foot all the way towards the sky, three-legged dog. Exhale, round it in, round the upper back, knee to nose, or to thigh, as high as you can. Inhale towards the sky. Exhale, look forward, step between the hands. Okay, so we're in runner's lunge, first of all. And I'd like you, so you remember in Utkatasana, I was like, lift your belly away from your thigh. Here's what we're gonna do as well. You're gonna be on the ball of the back foot really high. And see if you can start to pour your weight into your right foot and hover the left foot off the floor. Your fingertips can stay on the earth. Good. As you exhale, bend into your right knee, sit the left foot back again to the back of the mat. Nice. And see if you can do it super silently. Ooh, smashing. Good. Again, let the inhale pull you forward into your right foot, hovering the left foot. Gently step it back to the back of the mat. Good. Again, inhale, hover it. Here we can stay with the hands on the floor. Pardon me. Taking your left foot back to the back of the mat. And as you exhale, pull your left knee in towards your nose. We'll have a micro bend in the right knee. See if you can tap your nose with your knee. Bunk. Yeah, good. Inhale, reach it back. Exhale, tap it in. Inhale, reach it back. Exhale, tap it in. Inhale, reach it back. Left foot to the floor. Heel meets the earth. Arms up and around, warrior two. Good. So our knees are pulling away from each other. Like a book opening. So the thighs opening out. Yeah. The arms are reaching apart from each other. Here's also, if you feel okay with it, a really nice place to close your eyes. And just feel where your body is in space. And feel how you occupy it from the inside out. Imagine, if you will, that as you inhale, you expand all the way to the end of your toes and your fingers. And as you exhale, everything contracts in towards your navel. Like, the contraction and expansion of the universe. This Ujjayi breath helps with it, because you can feel how everything contracts to create that sound. The inhale, you get bigger. And the exhale, you draw in towards your center. As you inhale, come around. Left hand meets the sky, left hip pulls forward, it's high lunge. And then as you exhale, we're going to continue turning towards the right for a twisted warrior two. So your right hip pulls back, left hand forward, right hand back. Right knee leaning forward, left heel pulling back. You're twisting yourself around towards the right. Good, good, good. Balance, balance, balance. Inhale, take both arms up towards the sky. Exhale, draw the palms together. One more big breath in through the nose, filling up your lungs. And then as you exhale, empty yourself out, lean forward. Perhaps we can hook the left elbow over the right knee for a twist. If you'd like, you can put your left knee on the floor. That's totally cool. Totally cool. What I'm looking for is this twisting, this balance, this feeling of the navel being the center point, and how strong that is. See if you can lean back around it. See if you can feel how it keeps you anchored. We stay for one more exhale. Then as you inhale, reach the arms up towards the sky. Again, we're lifted away from the belly. Plant the hands and step back to downward facing dog. Good. We'll stay with this for now. Reach the left leg towards the sky. And then exhale, round it in. Upper back puffs up. Inhale, reach it all the way up. And then exhale, step it forward between the hands, runner's lunge. The left hip scoops back, the heart lifts forward. See if you can lift your belly away from your thigh. And then it's that inhale as you pour yourself forward. See if your right foot can hover. Your left hamstrings and glutes are going to work to make this happen. Gently and lightly step your right foot back. Smash it. Really beautiful. Really well done. Good. Inhale, step it forward. And then exhale, step it back. So this control, that's beautiful. It shows how connected you are with your body. Because people tend to flail themselves around. And I'm not just talking on the yoga mat, I mean in life. So how much can we be graceful? How much can we watch, step it forward? Every single inch of our movements. Reach your right leg back in space as your heart pulls forward. Inhale, right knee taps your nose. Exhale. Good. Send it back. Inhale. Exhale, get really tiny. Good. Inhale. Exhale, last tap in, get as small as you can. Inhale, step it back. Warrior two. Good. So it's a posture of grace and powerlessness. Yogic warrior, that phrase seems like a paradox, like an oxymoron, but it's not. We fight for peace. We know that in order to achieve this, you have to have courage. And yogis work to cultivate it inside. This is why we make our body like a diamond, totally invincible, and un-F-with-able, as I like to say. Draw your right hand forward, right hip forward, high lunge. So you square the hips to the front of the mat. Lift your heart up. And then as you exhale, turn further towards the left. So we make this twisted warrior two. So you're, in fact, twisting around your axis. Your left knee still hugging forward. Your right heel still hugging back. Your torso turning around towards the left. You're challenging your balance here. But that means that you're feeling even more how the navel, how the pelvic floor are really grounded. We take one more inhale, take the arms up, join the palms together. Exhale. Lean forward, inhale. And see maybe if the right elbow can hook over the left knee. You're welcome to stay up high or place the knee down on the floor as you like. But see if you can find that belly. Like we did in the low lunge, like we did in Utkatasana, feel like the low belly is lifting away from the thigh. So you can feel that navel hugging up and in towards your spine. So even as you stay here, feel like the breath fills you up. Inhale. Exhale. Release the hands. Place them on the floor. Step back into a plank. We puff up the upper back, the middle back, and then lift the hips high. Moving, rippling back into downward facing dog. And then reverse it, heels high, navel to spine, rounding the low back, rounding the upper back, rounding forward into a plank. Same thing, exhale, round it all the way back, downward facing dog. Wave of the spine. Inhale all the way forward. Chaturanga, knees up or down, your choice. Upward facing dog. Press yourself back. Yes, downward facing dog. Lovely. Good. All right. One last little flourish. Pull your right knee in towards your ribs. Exhale. Round the shoulder. Step it back. Inhale. Left knee in towards the ribs. Exhale. Inhale. Step it back. Right knee in towards the ribs. Exhale. Inhale. Step it back. Left knee in towards the ribs. Exhale. Inhale. Step it back. Take a breath in. Bend the knees. Stick your butt out. Press into the hands. As you inhale, Hop your feet either distance, either side of your hands to the front of the mat. Yes, good. Lovely. Drop it low now. So your hips come down and your hands to the inner edges of the knees. Now squeeze your elbows with your knees. Squeeze your heels towards each other and push your shoulders apart from each other. So there'll be a slight rounding of the back. There'll be a curling of your pubic bone towards your navel. There'll be strength in your tushy as well as your legs. Good. Now for a second, stay with all of that. And can you turn your hands to face the other direction? So down, so the backs of your hands are connecting. Still press the elbows against your knees. Still keep your shoulders moving away from each other. Feel like your shoulders are rounding. Cool. Okay, then take your hands back to the regular position. Now this is just a little fun add-on to use the heat that you've got going on right now. So if you haven't done arm balances before, don't worry about it. We'll teach it in more detail later. But if you have, and if you're feeling, Amy's ready, if you're feeling experimental, then this is the time. So what we want to squeeze the arms. Everyone's getting ready. Squeeze the arms with your knees, right? These knees are going to become your arms. What? Doesn't make sense. Anyway, the hands are going to be wide. Press them onto the floor. Lift your butt high. Squeeze your knees. Bend the arms like chaturanga and look forward and lift your belly. So you can see that my back is super rounded. The hands are gripping the mat. Here one foot maybe can lift. Maybe the other foot can lift. As you hug your knees in really strong. Looking forward. Yes, hands. Good. Nice, Amy. See if you can line the inner edge of your back using that Ujjayi breath. Letting that be like helium that's lifting you up off the floor. Ah! Good job. Got a nice squishy carpet there to sort you out. Nice. Maybe one more breath. Maybe tap your toes if you can. On your exhale, take your heels back onto the floor. Come back into your Malasana. Now, drop your hips out low as you press your knees apart from each other. Take your right hand to the floor, left hand towards the sky. Open it up. So you can be on the balls of your feet if you need to here. That's totally cool. Take your left hand to the floor and swap it over. Good. Exhale, take it down. If you like, you can take your hands to the back of the head. Place the hands down onto the floor, step back for downward facing dog. Good. So, you're very welcome to come back into child's pose if that's what you'd like to do, or we can just do one last vinyasa. You can totally put your knees onto the floor, because we've done a lot of nice energy stuff for chaturanga. But I'd like to do a little back bend. We'll do a couple. First, Bhujangasana. Roll the shoulders back and down. Exhale. So make sure your feet are pressing into the floor. Butt gently lifting, belly gently lifting, heart forward. Elbows in. Good. For the last one, it will be Shalabhasana Locust. This time, reach the hands back behind you, interlace the fingers there. And see if you can reach the feet off the floor, back the way. Pull your hands away from you, back the way, so that your heart lifts forward, shoulders squeeze towards each other. Navel still pulling away from the floor here. Good. Take one more breath. Exhale, release. Take the hands underneath your head. Now maybe sigh. And soften the belly now again. Make it squidgy, like at the very start. So here's side, or what you can do is bend the knees, take the soles of the feet to face the ceiling, and let the feet waggle left and right. May feel something, may not very much, but there might be a nice Fun little stretch somewhere. This is good for the low back. Finally, take the hands underneath the shoulders, press yourself back, child's pose. And come back to your Ujjayi if you have left it. Find it resonating along the back of your throat, all the way down, deep into your belly. Like you're a shell. The seashell is an interesting thing. Like when you're a kid, you put it to your ear and you're like, oh my god, I can hear the sea. But nobody knows until later that actually you're hearing corn blood stream. Wow. But the seashells are actually quite a big part of yoga and Buddhist imagery because they're a call to listen, first of all. Also notice it's about listening to yourself. That's where the wisdom is. And there is no other wisdom other than that. That's why this position right here and now is so beautiful. Walk your hands back towards you. And we'll curtsy off to the side. Take the feet out in front of you. Take your hands behind your knees and curling through your low back, your middle back, and your upper back. Make your way slowly down towards the floor. So the whole of your spine is on the earth. Take your feet hip distance apart. Press into the ball of the feet and the heel so the inner arches lift. And press down into the feet so that you feel your lumbar spine, the low back. Press down into the earth. So that has engaged their low belly. Press down into the feet and feel that your hips lift, still with that low belly engagement, the pubic bone pulling forward. So you start to lift the hips up off the floor. If you like, you can keep your hands on the earth, reaching forwards towards your heels, or if you like, you can interlace the fingers behind your back. Press down into the heels to drive the front of your hips up towards the sky, so that you lengthen across the front of the hip flexors. Let your inner thighs gently hug towards each other, just a wee tad. And still make sure that your chin is nestling away from your chest so that you've got a long neck. Using your Ujjayi, you can see and feel and hear how the breath resonates deeply within your lungs. Slowly exhale, release your hands if you have them interlaced, and lower down, upper back, middle back, and lower back, all the way down towards the floor. Okay, this may be where you can stay. Another option, so there's two options for what we do next. Either you can take your feet just to stack in the air above your hips. It's called Viparita Karani. You can let your feet just rest there. Or if you're feeling up for it and ready and are curious, well, let's see, we've got shoulder stand as an option, which is bending the knees, pressing the hands into the floor, using your belly to lift the hips off the floor. Also, you're pressing your hands until your hips stack over your shoulders, at which point you take the hands to the low back. Keep the knees bent at this point. So you can totally stay here and just let the knees rest on your forehead, or you can slowly start to let the feet reach up towards the sky. Zip up the inner legs if you're going into your shoulder stand. Good. Zip up the other inner legs and feel like those toes are reaching up towards the sky. Nice. Main thing is when we come out, you keep your head low. Right? So you can stay for another breath or two here. Maybe give your bum a wee squeeze so that your legs reach up even higher above you. Nice. Good. Take one more breath to get even taller. Exhale, bend your knees. Place them onto your forehead, and then let your hands come down towards the floor. Slowly, we're going to put down the upper back, the middle back, and then the lower back
beyond all polarity
onto the floor. Let the knees come in towards the chest.
Let the judgments and opinions of the mind be judgments and opinions of the mind.
Hook your fingertips around your kneecaps and let your knees drift away from you. Start to draw little circles with the hips, with the knees, to make the hips kind of circle around and spiral on the earth underneath you. From here, take your hands out wide, shoulder height, and let the knees go over to the right. Maybe let your gaze drift over towards the left. Soften the belly here, like squishy jelly.
And in this very lifetime, you can know it.
Let your head, shoulders, and pelvis be heavy.
The real work you have to do is in the privacy of your own heart.
At this point, the Ujjayi breath, rather than lifting us up, is grounding us down.
Forms are lovely.
So it'll be more gentle than before.
But the real work is.
But see if with each exhale you can find another place in your body to soften. Take your knees to the middle and then over to the other side. Gaze towards the right hand now. The breath so smoothly and slowly and deeply fills you up.
If you're quiet when you meditate,
it unravels everything.
If you truly open your heart, just quiet your mind. Open your heart. Quiet the mind, open the heart. How do you quiet the mind? You meditate. How do you open the heart?
Inhale and draw the knees back towards the middle.
That which you can love and just keep expanding it.
And then you can either finish your Shavasana by taking your knees wide, your soles of your feet together, or just classic Shavasana, feet reaching to the edges of your mat.
But go deeper and deeper into.
But if your feet are reaching away, make sure your feet flop out.
Till you love that which is the.
Let your palms face up. Take a big breath in through your nose. Now Ujjayi goes away, but with it we can have one last sigh out the mouth.
Everything in you that you don't need.
As you allow your body to rest on the floor, we'll have one more big breath in and one more exhale,
You don't need loneliness.
which allows you to shrug off the residue of the practice.
Leave me alone. You don't need greed.
This heat that we generate is transformational. That's the point. And what is the transformation? It's shrugging off all the stuff from out there, all the ashes from that world that's on fire, so that we can come back and feel and see what is left inside, what is the real thing,
The minute you are quiet,
which is your heart,
find out that
your
you
breath,
do know.
and the real you.
For in you, you know. us, there once was a fire. And for some of us, there seem as if there are only ashes now. But when we dig in the ashes, we find one ember. And very gently we fan that ember. Blow on it. It gets brighter. And from that ember, we rebuild the fire. Only thing that's important is that ember. That's what you and I are here to celebrate. That though we've lived our life totally involved in the world, we know that we're of the Spirit. The ember gets stronger. Flame starts to flicker a bit. And pretty soon you realize that all we're going to do for eternity is sit around the fire.
Slowly allow your breath to deepen again. Let it bring you back into your body, but with this renewed sense of connection, integration, power, inspiration. It starts at the very center of you and emanates out into the world. Fill yourself even more with this breath and let it bring movement back to fingers and toes. Maybe turn the head left and right. Maybe reach the arms overhead. When you're ready, draw the knees in towards the chest. We roll over to the side, settling there. when you're ready, push yourself back up to sit. Draw your palms together, maybe give the hands a little rub. And let the hands wash over your face. Then come back to that prayer position, let the thumbs come back towards your heart. Take a breath in through the nose. And exhale out the mouth. Again, we draw the breath in. Om Shanti. You got duvets? I thought you had duvets. So great. You gotta do it. Why not? Literally, use what you have to hand. Thank you so much, my friends. Good job. Feel good.
Thank you, Emma.
Yes, thank you. Well, awesome. I think next week is probably the last. So stay tuned. Not forever. I mean, just before Christmas. In January. So I think as far as I know, we're going to start back the 13th-ish. And after that, we'll have a couple of online and then in person.
Ooh.
Yeah. So apparently they're just waiting for some person to be appointed to like the student association or something. But then after that, we'll have in person. But I'll do them hybrid as well. So if you can't make it in, then we'll still have it recorded and on Zoom as well. So it's like all possible things. Great. So anyway, awesome. Have a great evening and see you next week maybe if you're around.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.